Hi, my name is Matthew Harker, and these are my three effective teaching strategies that I would use for visually impaired students. First off, visually impaired students are students that cannot, they could be blind, they could have tunnel vision, they could have color blindness, they could have all sorts of different things that just make it hard for them to see. Some of the basic ways that I would try to reach those students would be to provide meaningful hands-on experience. Something that was done with me when I was a kid was we were talking about whales in my first grade class and how their blubber keeps them warm in the cold water. So my teacher actually brought in a bag of fat and a bucket of ice water, and she did this because we had students in the class that physically couldn't see. They didn't know what it really was. So they didn't know the best way to explain it was just to show them. And something that I would do is say if I'm talking about, say if I'm reading to students and one of my students is blind and he can't read, or we're talking about some sort of a substance, say sand, for example, and sand is coarse, it's ground, it's very dry. I would bring in sand so that way he could feel it and he or she could feel it, and they could make a connection to that. They would be, every time sand comes up in a book, or whenever somebody is reading to them, or if they are reading themselves with braille, they know like sand is sand. It's coarse. It's small little tiny pieces. Something that I would do is say if I had paper handouts that I needed to hand out to class, I could create, well, I couldn't create, but I could find a way to print off braille paper, which it's just paper, but the words on it are in braille for students who are visually impaired to the point that they cannot see. For those students who are not completely blind but still have trouble reading because of, say, they have partial blindness, I could provide large print books, large print papers. I could provide magnifying glasses that can help them see for regular print. And say for computerized lessons for students like that, I could have a text-to-speech box. I could download that, and I could have it to where if I could push a button, or they could push a button, and it would read out what it says on the computer or on the pad or whatever they use. That was my visual impairment teaching strategies.